everyone, it's Kim. Today's video is going to be about something that I feel like a lot of people don't usually talk about, whether it's from embarrassment or they just don't want to admit it, or maybe a lot of people just don't experience this. But I know that some people do experience this, and when you do go through this, it makes you kind of feel like a bad person, and you can't help how you feel, but while you're feeling it, you feel like crap because you're feeling it, and that's not cool. So what I want to talk to you about today is when you're pregnant, having a gender expectation, and then suffering from gender disappointment if you find out that you are expecting the opposite of what you were expecting. I know that a few people who have struggled with this and struggled to come to terms with it. I myself, with this pregnancy, have struggled with it, and I didn't want to make a vlog about it while I was still really having a hard time with it, because I feel like it would be kind of disingenuous. I wanted to wait until I felt a little more clear-headed about it and a little bit more in a better place, so that I could talk about it and know that there is an end in sight to it, and I guess kind of talk about what I did personally to help me kind of overcome the gender disappointment that I experienced this pregnancy. As many of you know who have been following my journey from trying to conceive, I've been saying that I would love another boy. Another boy was like my dream. If I could choose the perfect family, it would have been another boy. For this pregnancy, and from the moment I got pregnant, I was so sure that it was a boy. I think I kind of psyched myself out and set myself up for disappointment because I was so sure it was a boy. I did all of the old wives' tale gender predictors. I did the Ramsey method. I mean, I had other people weigh in their opinions on what they thought. I mean, and I'm just my instincts. I was so sure that it was a boy, and everything, all the signs were pointing to boy. So I was confident that I was going to get my wish and that I was going to have another baby boy to add to our family. And, just always, I've always pictured myself as the mom of boys. I've never, ever imagined myself as the mom of girls. So when we went in for that ultrasound and I found out it was a girl, I was surprised. I was very surprised. And those of you who saw the he or she watched to see video at the end who saw my face, you can tell I am definitely in shock. And I can't believe that I'm wrong. After the camera stopped rolling, I will confess, I do believe the smile pretty much left my face. And I looked at my husband and I said, "What are we going to do? Like, what do we do with this?" And he was like, "What do you mean? It's a girl. Aren't you excited?" And I just looked at him, and then I looked at the tech, and I went, "Actually, I'm not." And I started to cry right there in the ultrasound room. I did, honestly. I started to cry. And I can't believe I'm even admitting any of this to any of you. But if this can help one person, then it's worth it to me. But I did. I sat in the ultrasound room, and I cried. And I think it was because I had become so attached and so connected to the idea of this little boy growing in my womb, and I had all these big plans for my son and his brother, and all these things that I wanted to do with my boys, and I had his little name picked out, and his personality just, it seemed so sure in my brain. I had a picture of what he was going to look like, and all the things we were going to do, and then to have your whole world kind of flipped and be told, actually, every single instinct you've had about this pregnancy thus far has been wrong. It's actually a girl. It kind of rocked my world. In my brain, I was thinking, I have been wrong about this child from day one. I have been so sure of who she is, and I was completely 100% wrong. And, like, how do you deal with that? Already for me, being a parent to a little girl is a terrifying thing. I'm used to boys. I grew up around boys. Boys is what I know. So little girls is very foreign to me. So that already was an obstacle in my mind. And then thinking, and my instincts are already so wrong about her, what else am I going to be wrong about? And it sent me into this spiral of just complete disappointment. For at least a week or two, I felt really kind of emotionally disconnected from the baby. And I tried so hard to get excited and be excited. We went out, we bought little girl clothes, we started, really solidifying name choices. We announced that it was a girl, and I put on a happy face, and I thought maybe if I smile enough and I look at enough cute little girl clothes that I will get genuinely excited and happy that I'm having a girl. But it didn't happen, and no matter, I feel, what I did or what I thought, in the back of my mind, there was always this nagging thought of, well, maybe the tech was wrong. Maybe it is a boy. Maybe I will get my happy ever after, Maybe it's not a girl. Maybe it is really a boy. And, feeling those feelings and thinking those thoughts, right on the heels of them, you think, am I a terrible person or what? Am I a horrible parent for thinking this? Yeah, who thinks that about their child? Who finds out the gender and then immediately thinks, oh, but I wish it was the other one? What kind of person did that make me? So then I was wrestling with those feelings on top of it all. And it was really, really tough. And I honestly did not start to get better until I started talking to people about how I felt. I confided in my best friend, and I told her, I said, look, this is how, and it was about a week or two after finding out the gender. So I was around 19, 20 weeks pregnant at this point, somewhere in that range. And I just said, look, I'm not excited and I don't know what to do. I'm actually devastated. Every time I think about this pregnancy now, I want to cry because I don't even know. It's probably hormones play something in. And so she was able to kind of talk me through my feelings and alleviate some of that fear that I was feeling about having a little girl, because she had all girls. And, she was able to kind of give me some counsel and some advice. I talked to my husband about it in great depth, and I said, look, if I'm going to be honest with you, and I need to be honest with you, this is what I'm feeling. And he was able to talk me through it and tell me, look, she is relying on you right now. You are her home. You are the only thing she knows right now. And if you have any kind of negative vibes, you need to really just clear them out. Take some time and spend it with just you and baby Sparrow inside of you, and just feel her move and talk to her and really close your eyes and just meditate on the beautiful life you're creating, boy or girl, it shouldn't matter. He's and he quickly followed it up with, I know it does matter, and I know that you are upset about this, but really, in the grand scheme of things, it's a life that you get to carry, and we tried so hard and so long for this. And I was like, I know we did, and that's why I feel like crap for feeling like this. I thought I'd be okay, but I feel so depressed about this. It's not what I always dreamed of. And he's like, dreams can change. And if you think about it, pretty much anyone you ask will say a boy and a girl, oh, the perfect nuclear family, And for me, that was never the perfect nuclear family. I did not want a daughter. Honestly, baby girls scare me. I am terrified of the thought of having to raise a girl in today's society and in today's world. It scares the living crap out of me, guys. I am terrified of having to be a parent to a girl just because of the way the world is. And I feel like that's a selfish reason, but I don't want her to have to go through things that women have to go through nowadays. I really don't. But it's my job now as her mother to make sure she navigates life in a safe, good way and feels empowered every step of the way. And if I let my personal disappointment get in the way of her feeling empowered, then that's all on me. And I realized, the more I spent time just alone, I would just sit alone and just feel her moving inside of me, and I would just talk to her and just try to connect, just mind, body, soul, try to connect with her. And I feel like over time that did help, and I felt less and less disappointed and more excited and, I guess, accepting of the fact that, you know what? Yeah, I always wanted boys, but you know what? I'm getting a girl, so that's a different kind of adventure altogether. It's a new kind of adventure, and you know, I need to embrace it, and I need to just welcome this with open arms. And I'm not gonna lie, it took a while, and still some days I do kind of struggle because, like I said, I'm scared. I am so scared to raise a girl. I have no idea what I'm doing with a girl. I had a really, really rough upbringing, and I feel like I was not listened to or understood as a child. So I feel like maybe, you know, I can take that and turn it into something positive as like a how not to raise a daughter. I don't know. I just, I know this video has gotten kind of rambly and long, but I just wanted to be honest with you guys about what I was feeling these past couple weeks, what I'm feeling now. I'm sure that when I hold her in my arms, that fear and that doubt that I will be a good parent to a daughter, I'm sure all that doubt and everything will just melt away, because looking into her face, it will be just perfect, and I'll realize that it's all meant to be, and that my fear and everything is silly. But you know, I'm past the disappointment and the frustration and I guess the anger at the universe. I've been able to slowly move past all of that with the help of family and very close friends that I was able to confide in, you know, and they helped talk me through it, and I was able to kind of move through that stage. And now I'm in the fear stage of, I have to raise a daughter in today's society. How am I going to keep her safe? How am I going to keep her empowered? How am I going to keep her spirit and her hope and her ambition alive? How can I possibly do that? It's such a daunting task, but I can do it, and I know with the help of family and friends that I can talk to, that I will get through it, and I will be the best mom that I can be to my baby girl. And you know, this goes the other way too. Some people desperately want a girl, and then they find out they're having a boy or another boy, and or like they desperately want a boy and they find out they're having another girl or a girl. And you know, you are not terrible for having a preference. Honestly, I think everyone deep down has a preference, and when you find out it's the opposite, there is, for I think most people, a little twinge of like, oh man. But then some people are able to bounce right back and say, it's okay though, I'm so excited. But then some people, it takes longer, and if it takes you longer, it's okay. Just find someone you can talk to, find someone you can vent to. Don't be afraid to be honest about how you're feeling, because until I was honest about how I was feeling with people, I didn't start to feel better. I didn't start to feel more confident. The more I tried to hide my disappointment and hide, I guess, the envy that I had over other people who are having second boys or who have more than one boy, you know, the more I tried to bottle that in, the worse I felt, and the more alone and crappy I felt. And once I started opening up to people and being honest and saying, look, this is how I'm feeling, help me. I don't understand why I am having such a hard time with this, but I'm having a hard time with this. The more I was able to do that, I feel like the more people were able to surround me with love and say, hey, it's normal, you're okay, we'll get through this, you're a great mom, and we know you love your baby. This isn't a question of whether or not you love her, it's just a question of, how am I going to raise her? And you know, it's tough and it's scary, and when you're going through it, you feel like you're the only person who is going through it, but you're really not. There are others out there who have gone through the same emotions and the same feelings. So just know that you're not alone, and I'm always here to listen. If you need just someone to talk to, or you're experiencing gender disappointment or anything like that, just know I've been there, I've done that, I'm kind of still doing that. So feel free to talk to me anytime. You know, this has been a brutally honest vlog about my raw emotions and feelings. So I'd appreciate if you take it as such. Don't take it as law. Just appreciate it for what it is, that I am being brutally honest with you guys. So, but thank you all so much for your love and support. It really, really, really makes a difference. But thank you all so much, and until next time, bye.